Hi, this is Jeff Schulte. I'm one of the developers for World at WaR85, and today I'm going to take you through a little playthrough on the Drive On Giessen campaign. Hopefully, if you have any questions, this will answer them, and I'll walk you right through it. Feel free to ask questions after this is posted. Here we're looking at the Soviet operational map. I have the Soviet forces set up in the red spaces of East Germany for the start, and the NATO front line is marked with the blue control markers. The Soviets start with 2 forward operating bases. The headquarters are placed in each box for the formations that I've included in the game, and the helicopters are on top of the forward operating bases. For my game here today, I've basically set up 2 tank regiments. I've substituted East German T-72 battalion for that last Soviet battalion, just to make that second regiment complete. In addition to the 2 tank regiments, we have the divisional recon battalion, and I have 3 battalions of artillery, including the 2S7 Pion battalion. So we'll see how they work. Now coming over here, the NATO side, we have the NATO operational map. Again, NATO can start anywhere on the non-East German spaces on the map, and they have the formation headquarters set up along with the 2 forward. They have 2 forward operating bases. I could set up to 4 for each helicopter formation. You're allowed to put 2 forward operating bases on. I just have 2 here first now. In addition to the air recon that both sides start off with, NATO has purchased some F-111s and some A-10s. And here are the formations, and again, these are all, as usual, company-sized formations. If you notice, basically for NATO, what I have is on the Americans, each American's frontline space has a cavalry troop, and then I got reserves in the back. Since NATO moves second, they'll be able to react to any moves by the Warsaw Pact. So, as far as forces are concerned, keep in mind this campaign is designed to be an open-ended campaign, really to build as you wish and to your own preferences. You can use the point system as a guideline to purchase forces. You can use what the suggested starting points in the book, although frankly those points are rather low. But it would be a good start just to get a good feel for the system. But after that first playthrough, feel free to make up your own order of battle and everything. For myself, I usually just go by battalions and companies, to balance out the forces, and then go from there. Just on a roughly 1-for-1 rule for the pact. 1 battalion against 1 NATO company to kind of even out things as a rule of thumb, and then go from there. So for the first sequence of play, we're going to go to operational movement, and the Soviets move first. So Soviet intelligence is actually pretty good, so I don't expect to find any breaks in the line. But normally, if I wanted to have, or if I have somebody in the backfield, I can mark them with a road march. So let's just mark him first. He's the only one I'm going to do is for road march. He'll be able to move 2 spaces on the operational map, assuming he doesn't run into enemy forces. Now, road march limits you a little bit if you enter battle, because then you're going to have to enter in road march formation. Which basically means you're going to enter from 1 road, and the first unit will move all full movement, then the second unit will move full movement -1, third unit full movement -2, and you have to stay on that road until you're spotted or you spot an enemy unit. So there's some disadvantages to running road march, but it is good to move up a way to move up reserves in the backfield, or if you think you can exploit a breach of somehow. So in any case, as the Soviets move, if they go into a NATO-controlled position, they're going to have to announce that to the other player. So obviously, here it's set up side to side. In normal two-player situation, basically the Soviets will be announcing when they're entering into a NATO-controlled space to see if there's enemy forces there. If there are, they'll have to stop at that point. So we're just going to move this one battalion into here. And then my major attack here. So with the red connection as a major road, the capacity for the initial assault will be ground formations. So what I'm going to do is these three will be able to move in, and they'll initially enter the battle. Any additional formations that move in above and beyond the capacity will actually start moving in as reinforcements. So if I move 4 formations in, I'm going to have 3 of them will enter in as at start forces during the battle, and the 4th one will have to enter in as a reinforcement. So in each of these moves, I'm going to have to announce to NATO, hey, do you have anything in space 2? Looking over here, obviously they do. So my forces are stopped, and now they're going to be marked as a battle location. Okay, same thing here. NATO has forces, going to mark it as a battle location. And then we're going to do the same thing across the board here. So I'm going to move these 3 here, and NATO has all the front line occupied, so I'm going to be forced to stop. I move this last formation who's in road march. I'm told, oh, sorry, there's enemy forces there, so I'm going to mark it as a battle. If there were no NATO forces in this location, after everybody does their first move, this road march formation would be able to move a second space. Okay. My helicopters, I'm going to move. Now they can move 4 spaces, and it's kind of like an air unit in a lot of games where basically they can move 4 spaces out, and then after a battle they're going to move 4 spaces back to one of the forward operating bases. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move them here. 1, 2, 3. Now I have 3 artillery battalions. So they can move into the battle just like a normal formation, but in this case I'm going to leave them back because they can stay and support adjacent battles. So these 2 battalions will be able to allocate artillery support to this battle as well as to this second battle here. And then this artillery battalion could allocate artillery support to this battle or to this battle. Now now it's NATO's turn to move. So, excuse my arm. We're just going to mark here. So we know that we're embattled at each of these locations. Now NATO's forces that are engaged are pinned in place. He can't withdraw those forces right now. During the battle process, you can withdraw from a battle, and then you withdraw on the operational map, but he can't preemptively move away from the battle. In this case, for NATO, what I've done is I placed a frontline screen and then forces in the back that can react in response. So in this case, it's good for NATO to have reserves. Now, with the way the connections are made, there's going to be some spaces that won't be able to be defended with reserves effectively, and you'll have to put forces up front. But right now, with the starting space, like here, I'm going to move these the Germans in to reinforce that location. So with the main reserves here, and we got to look at. So these guys are all in Bad Hersfeld. So I'm going to, first of all, the artillery battalion, I know I'm going to leave them there. Again, he'll be able to lend artillery support to here, and he'll be able to lend artillery support to that location. So it's good centralized position for him. So this is this tank heavy task force. The purple is a tank company, armored company. This one is a cavalry. I'm sorry, this one is the other tank because I put all the cavalry up front. And then this one is another armored company. So basically I put my armored companies in reserve to react. And so in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw these guys in here. Again, the helicopters can move 4. 2. 1, 2. There we go. Okay. This one, I think what we're going to do is, I'm not going to reinforce it, and we're going to just do what the cavalry does. They're going to do a delaying action, and then withdraw back over to Fulda. And this is a M2 company, and this is a M60 A3 company. So that's it for operational movement, and I'll continue with the next video. Hopefully this worked out. It's the first time I'm trying video.